All righty, 7:32, let's go. So for those of you that know me, you know how excited I am about this functional medicine opportunity and opening my practice. For those of you that don't know me, I'm about to give you a quick intro, and hopefully that you will find lots of benefit from this webinar tonight. First and foremost, I want to thank you for your time. I know everybody's got crazy life and busy schedules, and so I appreciate you carving out this 20 to 30 minutes to spend time with me to learn more about what your yearly labs are trying to tell you. This webinar, main driving force behind it was patients basically coming to me. Everyone had the consistent theme, and so I was like, okay, I need to create a webinar on this called Beyond the Labs, Understanding Why You Still Feel Off Despite Your Labs Being Normal on Paper. So I'm Julie Brown. I'm a nurse practitioner. I have 25 years of healthcare experience. I'm the owner of the Functional Difference functional medicine practice, currently 100% telemedicine, but in the spring, I'm hoping to go hybrid. So I appreciate everyone being here tonight. So a few announcements, housekeeping. I'll do a little quick intro for those of you that don't know me. I'll review the agenda. Let me make sure I've got everybody here that I'm having to let people in. So, okay, I will review the agenda. I will discuss, the biggest question I seem to get is that what's the difference between conventional labs and functional medicine labs? That's a common question. I'll make sure to do a deeper dive on what you currently know about your yearly labs, what you need to know, and most importantly, how you feel. We will do a live Q&A at the end and do some raffle drawings for prizes, one of them being almost a $200 value. So if you stay until the end, we will make sure we put you into that drawing. And my sister, who has generously offered to be my co-host and comment reviewer, will make sure that she's capturing all of that information and will be the announcer of the winners. So I have been in healthcare for 25 years. I did primarily ICU background, surgical trauma ICU, flight nursing, which was amazing. And most recently, over the past 6 years, a little over 6 years, nurse practitioner. I have been obviously trained in the conventional medicine model, and it is very important to me, having now on the nurse practitioner perspective and lens, it's important to me to get to the root cause of what's wrong and why your symptoms are happening in the first place. What drew me even more so to finally take the leap and open up my own practice was from my own personal journey of through actual NP school, 8 years ago, I was suffering from an unexplained random intermittent rash that was happening. It would kind of start on one side of my abdomen. It would get crazy itchy. It ended up looking like I had been attacked by a raccoon. It was horrible. And I went to my PCP, got multiple referrals to specialists, including dermatology, allergist, multiple tests were done, punch biopsies, the crazy skin test you had to do. I lived on Benadryl. It was horrible. And lived on Medrol dose packs. For those of you that don't know, steroids, basically, like, a couple times a year, I go on a Medrol dose pack just to kind of keep it at bay because I was so miserable. And long story short, after years and years of it would come and go with no explanation, I was told I was just too stressed out. That was their reason. Your labs are coming back normal. Your biopsies are coming back normal. You are just too stressed. And that was not an okay answer for me. Fast forward through functional medicine, being a practitioner, I can order advanced labs for myself. I started to try to get to the root cause for my own issues and advocate for myself. And earlier this year, I discovered why that rash was happening. I have eliminated that item and I am rash-free, no issues, no steroids, no Benadryl, and feel so much better. So it's just a really quick, simple example of what functional medicine can do for you. It wouldn't be a webinar without a disclaimer. So I'm here to say that this is strictly for educational purposes only. And I always encourage you to reach out to your primary care team, talk to them, and determine if medication adjustments, supplements, whatever you're wanting to incorporate or change should always be consulted with them first and foremost. I also advocate for a functional medicine lens or provider that can co-share what's important to you to support your goals and empower you with the information that you need to advocate for yourself first and foremost. Quickly, we'll cover this real quick and then get right into the content because I want to be respectful of everybody's time tonight. I appreciate you taking time out on a busy work week night. So we'll talk about why this is important to all of us, why we need to be discussing this. Most importantly, why your lab work keeps showing as quote normal on paper, but yet you still feel off. What you currently know, what you're hearing from your team, what you feel, and what makes me sad is that a lot of my patients are saying that they now feel like this is their new normal and this is just must be all in their head because their labs are quote normal on paper. What you need to know, what I want you to walk away with this webinar knowing and empowering you at your next visit to have that informed conversation, and then the live Q&A at the end with the prices. We are sadly the sickest, the biggest country in the world. We spend trillions of dollars in healthcare, and healthcare is, quote, healthcare. It's really, in my opinion, sick care. It's really, really sad. We have chronic illnesses, like we're just getting worse, worse and worse, more sick over time. And this is a whole other webinar, and that's not why we're here tonight, but sugar is what's killing us. Ultra processed foods is what's slowly killing us. And it's really sad. Alzheimer's disease has now become, or they're saying, type 3 diabetes. So sugar is what's slowly killing us along with the ultra processed foods. So it's just super sad. So the purpose of this webinar is to talk about conventional medicine and functional medicine. So conventional medicine is symptom-based approach. So here are your symptoms. Here's what we're going to do for you. Usually, not always, usually prescription-based, and then see you in 3 to 4 months to see how you're responding to that prescription, whether it be by symptoms or by what your blood work now looks like. Functional medicine looks at you holistically as a whole person, looking at everything, looking at the root cause of what's actually going on internally that is imbalanced that we need to kind of check and get back in balance. This is just another way to kind of show what I was trying to say on the previous slide, but in a different display or a different format. Conventional medicine. So the most common question I get is, Julie, why are the lab ranges? Well, I gotta let somebody in real quick. Okay, sorry about that. Conventional medicine is looked to catch disease, like severe highs or severe lows. So it's meant to catch an actual illness or disease process happening that's already in place. Functional medicine is meant, it has usually typically tighter lab ranges. So it's meant to catch the yellow lights along the way. I like to say that conventional medicine, and rightfully in their defense, that's the model I've been trained on, they look for the check engine light on the dashboard. So that's what they're looking for because they have to see 20 to 30 patients a day. It's 15-minute appointment slots. How could you possibly spend an hour with 30 patients in one day? It's not possible. So they're looking for the outliers, whereas functional medicine is being proactive and looking and watching the trends that you're starting to head down that road of illness and catch those yellow lights along the way. So conventional medicine is looking at the dashboard, check engine light has gone off, yes or no, check, see you in 3 months, 6 months, see you next year. Functional medicine does the deeper dive. We look at the dashboard, we care about the dashboard, but we also look under the hood as well to look at everything that's coming into play to paint the whole picture. We do like to play in the same sandbox. We like to co-share your treatment and your plans based on your goals. It's not meant, one is not meant to replace the other. Conventional medicine is wonderful for things like appendicitis, if you need your gallbladder out, if you need surgery, if you've had a heart attack, you need, open, heart surgery. It definitely has a place in our world, but functional medicine just helps kind of be a little more proactive and help take that off of the conventional team to allow you to have a functional medicine lens to give you that extra deep dive and that extra time that you need. So it's looking at like proactive early indicators. I'm gonna make sure, I've got a few more. Okay, having to let people in, my apologies. Okay, here's what you already know. So in like just being super quick, this is when you go to your PCP or your primary care team, internal medicine, here's typically what they're ordering. So they're ordering a complete blood cell count, so that CBC, they're ordering a CMP, comprehensive metabolic panel, They're ordering your cholesterol, triglycerides, HDL, LDL, and they're ordering, depending on the patient, they're ordering TSH for your thyroid with a reflex. So for those of you not in the medical world, a reflex order essentially means if the first one is abnormal, then we'll run the second one. What's unfortunate is, so in a functional medicine lab range, TSH is normal and good from 1 to 2. But the lab range for conventional medicine is way wider. So that T4 is never going to get run typically because you have to be way outside that 1 to 2 for it to flag. I'll get into that more in a minute. This is the whole reason for this webinar, because these quotes are from my actual patients. They were the driving force for me creating this webinar, because every single person has this frustration. They feel defeated. They feel frustrated. They feel like it's all in their head, literally. So you go to your doctor and you say, I'm noticing more brain fog. I'm, still consistent with my periods. I'm having sleep issues. I'm waking up in the middle of the night. I can't fall back asleep, or I struggle to fall asleep. And I've been doing the same thing that I've always done that has worked. And now suddenly in the last few years, it's not working. So they run their routine labs and then they're like, well, everything came back normal, typically. Let's talk about stress reduction, move your body more, try to work out a little bit more, and try to eat better. And so you're left at the appointment still saying, well, hey, I have all these other things that are going on. That's not helpful. So then you walk away from that appointment and you're seen in 6 months or 12 months, and you come back next year and you're like, hey, knock, knock, still having the same issues, if not arguably possibly worse. And they do the same set of labs, nothing additional typically. And you're just like, something is not right. I can't imagine this is like my new normal. And so every year that this happens, you start to feel like, okay, maybe it is in my head because my labs are normal on paper. So what is actually wrong? So this last one, I had a patient recently who literally, they said, wow, you're looking really good on paper. So I'll see you next year. Are you kidding me? Like, she is struggling with so many things for the last few years, and you're looking way better than you did last year. So keep it up. See you next year. Not okay. Not okay. Here's what I need you to know. So when you come to me with your labs, these are the things that I can glean and pick up from that Quest, that LabCorp lab report. Those are the most common ones that I get from patients. I can pick up on chronic infection, dehydration, inflammation, nutritional deficiencies, liver congestion, on tons of stuff. And this is just super high level. I could probably do a webinar on each one of these individually. If I have you walk away with anything, I mean, I want you to walk away with all the things, but the thyroid, you cannot truly tell me your thyroid is healthy by a TSH alone. You need all 4 tires to drive the car. Granted, the thyroid there's way more level of detail we can get to, but at minimum, you need a TSH, a free T3, a free T4, and TPO antibodies at minimum to truly be able to say that your thyroid is healthy. And a lot of my patients that I see, their symptoms are directly related to their thyroid health. But the TSH is the only thing that's being done, which is what's so frustrating, because they feel like they're going crazy, but we don't have the full picture. We don't have the full puzzle. So if anything, please advocate for these 4 things to be done for your thyroid health, to truly know that it's healthy. I created this particular slide, because this is us looking under the hood. These are the additional labs that I find that are not actually getting done. So when you're presenting to me with, and I did the U bolded, here are the things most, and it's not all inclusive, but here are what my patients are telling me. Frequent illness, 0 energy, burnout, close to burnout, crashing in the afternoon, needing that extra caffeine pickup, wired and tired. You wake up exhausted. It's like Groundhog Day. You go to bed tired. You can't lose weight now. Now you've got this extra tire around your waist. You're like, what the hell? I'm doing the same thing that I've always been doing. Why am I weight loss resistant now? This does not make any sense. So these are the additional basic, in my opinion, standard. These are not crazy advanced functional medicine labs. These are just basic things that you should be advocating for yourself. And now you know, because you're here. So here are the things that I would ask for in addition would be vitamin D. for the reasons listed there. You don't need me to read the slide. Cortisol is best measured over a 24-hour window and not just a one-time blood check. Fasting insulin. So I kind of briefly got on my soapbox about the thyroid. Fasting insulin. I have yet to find a patient that has had that done. And that is an early marker. We have over 98 million Americans who are pre-diabetic. Fasting insulin is an early marker. Hemoglobin A1C is what's normally checked. That's a late marker. Why are we doing the late marker? Why aren't we being proactive in doing the early marker? Fasting insulin, it has to be done. So your fasting glucose, your hemoglobin A1C, and your fasting insulin must be done. Had a patient recently who had triple bypass done last fall, unexpectedly, works out, good, 105 pounds, unexpected last minute triple biopsy. Triple heart biopsy or bypass, sorry. And she advocated for a fasting insulin from her cardiologist, and they refused to do it. And it's just as the family history of prediabetes, like, why not? You're already getting your blood work done. This is not something crazy and rare that we would want to run. So fasting insulin, hemoglobin A1C, and fasting glucose.
Hey, Julie.
Yes.
We can't see your slides.
What do you mean you can't see my slides? Oh,
Can't see them.
I'm presenting. So that is not helpful.
Good news is everybody's getting a copy of the slides after.
Great news, yes. So that should have been my first question to all of you.
There we go. Now we can see it.
Great. Yes, and you're all getting a copy of this afterwards. So you're going to see. So great. Okay, for anyone that is one of my colleagues watching, first question, can you see my slides? Great. Okay. Oh, so fun. I feel like I need to go back through really quick so you can do like a quick preview, but you're going to get them, so it's fine. And thank you for whoever pointed that out. I appreciate it. Okay. I don't know why this is here. There we go. So what I empower you to ask, and here's what I want to leave you with before we get into a few more things real quick. But what I want to empower you to ask at your next appointment. So basic labs and diabetic health. So you need to be asking for that CBC with differential, the CMP with the liver enzymes, your hemoglobin A1C and insulin, fasting insulin. Those are basics, in my opinion. For your thyroid health, you need all 4 tires to drive the car. So the TSH, the free T3, the free T4, and the TPO antibodies. For heart health, it's imperative that you do the lipid panel, which are the total cholesterol, triglycerides, HDL, and LDL. But let's talk about what are you doing diet-wise, not like restricted diet. I mean, like, are you eating good, healthy fats, avoiding seed oils, omega-3s, that kind of stuff? Are you watching your blood pressure? That's huge, tracking and trending. And if you have a family history or concern for any cardiovascular disease risk, then maybe consider doing a cardiac calcium CT scan. Personally speaking, from family history, that was a huge thing. And so my PCP was very reluctant to order it. And I had to be kind of pushy about it. And I ended up paying out of pocket for it. So your score of 0 is ideal. That basically is a scan that can be done to look at the calcium buildup in your arteries. And you want it to be lower is better, which means basically, simply stated, it decreases your risk of a heart attack, knowing that you're at less risk of getting a heart attack. Another thing are the nutrients. The vitamins and minerals are huge. Those are rarely ever done. So things like your B vitamins, your magnesium, your vitamin D, selenium and iodine are more so ones that I'll do for like thyroid health. But these other ones, including the zinc as well, is huge. Those help let me know that your body has the minerals and elements needed to operate at normal balance. That's low-hanging fruit, in my opinion. Those are things that are like through diet and simple quality supplements, you can really boost what's going on internally to help you. All right. This is my, let me do that real quick. This is my, kind of like my acronym of like my practice and what's important to me. Because lack of energy, burnout, and near burnout are the common themes for the patients that see me, I felt it critical to create this acronym titled Energy on Purpose, of like how I take you from point A to point Z and that journey along the way. So looking at your past history, current situation, talking about nutrients, talking about body movement, talking about the importance of sleep. Sleep deprivation hurts us more than almost anything else. It's huge. Talking about gut health and support. So our microbiome in our gut is almost more important than our brain. I mean, they do work well together, but for example, cholesterol, 75% of your cholesterol is made in your liver, not from diet. I'm going to say it again. 75% of your cholesterol is made in your liver. It is not from your diet. Serotonin, the good, happy, feel good hormone, neurotransmitter, that I want to say almost 90, maybe 80, at least 80% is made in your gut. So if your microbiome in your gut is off, you're naturally like not making the things that you need to make to actually feel you better, to make you feel better. So looking at overall gut health is huge, huge, huge to helping balance everything out. And then the why being your body's balance. This is just overall walking with you hand in hand, listening, hearing, supporting, following what's important to you. I have met some patients who are like, Julie, I am not eliminating X or Y, not doing it. I'll do everything else you tell me, but I am not going to cut out X or Y. And I'm like, I got you. Like, this is your journey. I'm here to walk with you hand in hand through health and wellness. Like, what are the things that we can do? Because if you have hard lines, how are you going to get better if you're cutting things out? Like, you're not going to cut things out. So I want to hear you and make sure that we're supporting those goals. So again, we're looking at more than just the dashboard. We're doing a deeper dive, looking under the hood. Most importantly, we're asking the question, why? Why are you feeling this way? Why are these symptoms happening? Instead of just giving you a prescription and see you in 3 months. Not okay. So to reinforce, my first session is always free because I feel it's very important that you and I connect and that I feel like you and I both agree that we're a good fit. And I have colleagues who charge for the first session. I find it very important to not charge for the first session because I need to know that I can help you and I need to be reassured that you feel like we're a good fit. Big active listener. I wish I could give you like referrals to my current patients. I'm an active listener. I have a huge heart. I want you to learn and grow, and I want to honor your goals. And if you have those hard lines in the sand and you're like, I'm not giving up X, Y, Z, we can talk through that. But I also know that it's important to take that into consideration. Every single patient that I have has a completely different treatment plan because everybody's unique and different. And I want you to hear that and know that. You should have received an email, which gives you a link to book that first discovery call if you'd like. Also on my website, which is listed here, you can go on and book that first discovery session for free as well. But the good news is, for those of you that are in attendance, is that we're going to do a raffle so that one of you gets that at almost a $200 value for free. So I'm going to stop with that now that you can finally see my slides. I want to see, ask what questions do you have based on this presentation? Again, this was super high level. I could probably have done a 30-minute webinar on each of my slides, but this is just super, super high level. Great. I can see. How often do you recommend some of the basic labs? I would say I usually, when patients present to me, if they've had them within the last 3 to 6 months, I'm happy to take those and evaluate those and not ask them to like do them fresh. But if there are significant abnormalities, I will say, like, for example, I had a patient recently who had them done in the last 3 months and they were normal on paper. And then through the functional medicine lens, I found 14 abnormals, one of them being a critical abnormal, highlighting 4 of her 7 symptoms. So with her, I want them done again in the next 3 to 6 months once we've made some changes. So if there's not a lot of like significant abnormalities, I would say we could probably do a 6 to 9 month. But the more abnormalities I find, I would probably want it done a little bit sooner, but I'd like to implement some changes through the unique treatment plan. So it's not like a monthly thing or a, every 2 month thing. I would say 3 months would be like super aggressive, but 6 months would probably be better, depending on what the results are. Another question that I get is the telemedicine. So I am 100% telemedicine. And the beauty of that is I have the flexibility of seeing you in the evenings, on the weekends, on a holiday if needed. That's not common, but I did see somebody on July 4th this year. So it's the flexibility of not dealing with traffic and work schedules and all of that is important to me because I can appreciate the crazy working 60+ hours a week and trying to run a household and families and kids and getting everyone where they need to be. So it affords me a lot of flexibility. Most importantly, it affords you a lot of flexibility. So I will have a hybrid practice in the spring, but for now I am 100% telemedicine because it just adds that additional level of flexibility for all of you. You will get a recording of this webinar in your email because you registered. And also the slide deck. You saw the last 1/3 of the slide deck, but you'll see the first 2/3 of the slide deck.
Hey, Julie, I can't find the chat on my phone. Can I ask a question?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay. I do not have a PCP since I moved to Florida.
Okay.
And do I have to go to a PCP to order labs, or is that something that I can consult with you and have those things ordered for me?
Great question. Thank you. So if you had a PCP, they usually order those standard labs, and then I would give you additional recommendations, and you go back to your PCP and say, I'm also meeting with functional medicine provider. Here are the additional labs that they would want. So with that being said, most providers are like, okay, sure, we'll add those. But to your question, I have accounts with Quest and LabCorp as a provider, and I can order those labs for you.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah. All righty. Okay, Lisa, I need your help with Based, who's on the call, who gets raffled off for a free evaluation of their current PCP labs with a report of findings appointment with me.
All right, I have listed in the participants list Esther, Selena, Amanda, Lisa, Felicia, Karen, Jen, and Leanne. Am I missing anybody? All right, I'm gonna go ahead, tap to spin. This is a random name generator. And the winner is Esther.
Oh, nice.
Yay.
All right. Yay, birthday girl.
Birthday gift.
Yeah. So we'll make sure we connect to talk about that. Woohoo, best birthday present ever. Yay. Okay, awesome. And then can you do 3 raffles for the 30% off quality supplements?
Sure can. All right. Next up, we've got Karen and, sorry, the spinning wheel takes a minute.
You said Erin?
Karen.
Oh, Karen Hall. Okay.
Selena.
Nice.
And last but not least, Felicia.
Oh, great. So Karen Hall, Felicia, and Selena. Okay, great. I'll make sure I reach out to them personally about that. Awesome. And for those of you that know me, you know that I'm going to have a references page. These are my high level, just quick little, these are some of my most frequented resources and websites. And I also have a book that I just got 2 days ago that is super, super awesome, called Outlive. And so I've added that to my resources. It's not listed here in the references, but it's pretty amazing. Look at additional messages. Great. Awesome. Well, unless anybody has any additional questions, we will conclude this webinar. I appreciate your time and attendance, and please let me know if you have any questions. You can reach out on my website, or you can respond to the email that you got tonight. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Have a good night.